heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men. I thought how as the day had come, the belfries of all Christendom had wrought along the unbroken song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And in despair I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then pealed the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men. Till ringing, singing on its way, the world revolved from night to day. A voice, a chime, a chant sublime of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat, repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders, wonders of his love. to certain poor shepherds in fields where they lay, in fields where they lay, keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 Noel. Born is the King of angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo. Come to Bethlehem and see him whose birth the angels sing. Come adore on bended knee Christ the Lord, our newborn King. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity Center of Cedar Rapids, December 27th service. My name's Nina Swanson, and I'm the music director at Unity Center. And I'm so grateful to be here with you today. Today we have a special guest. Our good friend Jonas Magram is here. Let's all take a deep breath and continue our Christmas celebration with Love Came Down at Christmas.
Love came down at Christmas, love, a lovely love, divine love, was born at Christmas.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity Center of Cedar Rapids, Sunday service on December 27th. We welcome you, whatever your spiritual path. Please know that you are home at Unity. And I invite you to say our invocation. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God, the good, omnipotent. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God, the good, omnipotent. And today we have a special guest, Jonas Magram, who is familiar to so many of us. We welcome him back to be our guest speaker and our musician today. We are in for a treat. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy your Sunday. Good morning. I'm Paula Land, your platform assistant for Sunday, December 27th. I'm here to share announcements, our statement of purpose, and the daily word with you today. Our first announcement is that Polly Gould, a powerful prayer partner, is standing by to pray with you over the phone. Please call her at 319-382-2009 immediately following the service, and Polly will be so happy to be able to pray with you. That is her gift to give. 319-382-2009. And as we approach the end of the year, it is not too late to give a gift to Unity CR. This year we've had a special opportunity present itself in a gap in our income. Now, at the beginning of the year, we certainly didn't expect to experience COVID and not be able to join together every Sunday where we share our love offerings in a basket immediately within the service setting. And so this day, this year, this moment is our opportunity to close that gap and to see the divine substance flowing in and through us, knowing that we are the vehicles through which good flows. It's our chance to practice prosperity, the law of circulation, seeing good coming into our lives and being able to share our good with others and with Unity CR, knowing that that is the substance that provides all that is needed for our spiritual community to survive and to thrive and to continue to share a spiritual message with you every Sunday and to be available as your spiritual community throughout the year. So we ask you to, no matter how you give, whether it's writing out a check, clicking on a link that's on our website to give by credit card, or to sign up for auto tithe. And for those of you who already auto tithe, we are so grateful. We are so thankful for all of the faithful givers throughout the year. And we please ask that you get your gifts in before December 31st so that we can see the end of 2020 ending in perfect balance. Thank you so much for your giving. We have a new class. It's actually not a class, it's a book study, and I facilitate this class via Zoom every once a month, every first Sunday of every month. And this year we are working with the book Practical Metaphysics, A New Insight and Truth by Eric Butterworth. This is a compilation of his talks and lessons, and we are looking forward to taking a deep dive and really strengthening our understanding and awareness of truth and how that plays out in our life. And you can join us very easily by ordering a book through the Unity bookstore. Just call and ask for a book to be sent to you. They're pretty inexpensive, and Ruth will make sure she gets that in the mail to you, or you can stop by Unity Center and pick one up. Make sure you call ahead so that you know somebody is there to let you in the building. And also give me a text at 319-721-1759 so I can send you the reading assignment and the link to the Zoom session. Or you can email me at paulaland66@gmail.com. Again, my number 319-721-1759, or email me at paulaland66@gmail.com. I look forward to having you join this mighty group of spiritual travelers that has joined together throughout the year and previous years to really take the opportunity to just read one chapter a month, spend 45 minutes on a call, and really strengthen our spiritual study, your spiritual study. So that really concludes our announcements for today. And so we ask that you join us in our statement of purpose. Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. We gather to create an experience of spirit. At Unity CR, we offer practical teachings that empower abundant and meaningful living. Meeting you right where you are, we endeavor to provide a variety of ways to support your path for spiritual living. Our mission is to provide spiritual awareness and share the wonder and joy of God's love. And our daily word for today is release. I take the best and leave the rest. I think that's a great statement for 2020. Taking the best and leaving the rest. My experiences of this past year have brought me gifts of insight, new perspectives, many chances to grow and stretch myself, and perhaps the opportunity to develop a skill that serves me in my work or brings greater enjoyment to my leisure time. Some experiences have been painful or difficult. These too have offered their gifts. I accept all that has come my way. With gratitude, I bless it all. I find the gifts and release what no longer serves my growth. Assured that God is my dependable source, I release any pain of a financial setback. In the joy of restored health, I release any memories of illness. Grateful for all modes of connection, I release any pain of loneliness. I move forward feeling lighter, cleansed, and renewed for my journey forward. And from Isaiah 43:18, do not remember the former things or consider the things of old. Thank you so much and enjoy the service.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reckoned
What a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Well, it's almost like being in love. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. Well, it's almost like being in love. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, well, it's almost like being, I could swear I was falling. Yes, it's almost like being in love. Hello, Al, Amanda, Angela, Ann, Arlene, Babs, Barb, Carl, Chris, Dave, Don, Edwin, Frank, Greg, Jan, Josh, Kevin, Laura, Linda, Lisa, Mary, Nancy, Nina, Otis, Pat, Paul, Paula, Polly, and Ray, and all the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, well, it's almost like being, I could swear I was falling. Yes, it's almost like being in love. Yeah. Howdy, folks. This is your old pal, Jonas Magram. I've missed you all so much. And before I go on, I missed a couple names there. I couldn't get through them all, but that included Reverend Deborah, Ruth, Sally, Susan, Suzanne, and my buddy Tom. So grateful to be here with all of you. I've missed you a lot. And this is a bit of a challenge, speaking to you from my home, because I don't get to look at all of your beautiful faces. And as you know, that's, well, maybe you don't know, but that is a huge part of getting to be with you on Sunday mornings at Unity Center of Cedar Rapids. So I love you. Sandy sends her love. Bruiser was around here somewhere. He's not here right now. But all of us here at the Magram home send all of you all of our love and best wishes for a wonderful new year. So I was asked for a title. That's Ruth's job, and she does it very well. And the title I came up with is really around the kind of year that all of us want to have. The first title I came up with when Ruth asked me was, Sheesh, I'm glad that's over. Referring to 2020, of course. And it's not quite over, but it will be within 4 days by the time you hear this. But then I put just joking, but I was only kind of joking. But better to put our attention on where we want to go than on even being grateful that we've moved past 2020. What I suggested in my title was that gratitude and joy and love and freedom were really worthy of our focus. And by the way, I'm wearing my hat today not because I've lost more hair, but because this light is very bright and it helps a little bit. These 4 qualities that really inspire me deeply, and I hope mean something to you, are within our grasp for this new year 2021. And frankly, they would be within our grasp regardless of whether we still were in the midst of a COVID pandemic or political turmoil for the entirety of 2021. Because truly, there is the outer world and then there is our inner life. And although they are connected, we could say that certainly the quality of our inner life is substantially within our control as opposed to the outer circumstances of the world, which are not so much within our control. I think Bruiser's knocking on the door. Maybe he wants to come in and say hello. So the question first, the first thing is for us to really believe in our ability to create a more joyful, a more loving, a healthier, and a freer life for ourselves in this coming year. So, why don't we just start with the joy part? So much of joy comes from gratitude. So much of our contentment in life, and that's what I refer to as joy, as opposed to happiness, which is fleeting and dependent on this happening or this not happening. But joy is a deeper quality of human consciousness that begins, I believe, with gratitude. And we've talked, we just had Thanksgiving a month ago, and I'm sure whoever spoke, Reverend Deborah or whomever, talked about gratitude and its importance. I've had the pleasure of speaking to you about it myself. And one of the quotes I read on gratitude was that it is the mother of all other virtues, the mother of all other virtues. So if we can begin our year, even before the year comes, because I'm speaking to you, I believe, on December 27th. So you have 4 days to take some time and really focus on all that you have to be grateful for now, December 27th, 2020. And I would have you actually make a list of all the things that you are grateful. Yeah, there are certain things that we weren't grateful for. The pandemic has been a hardship for all the world and for many of us. As I have, perhaps some of you know people who have passed away from the pandemic. So it's very real, and it has caused a lot of suffering. But even so, there are many things that I have to be grateful for. And by the way, if we were together at Unity Center, I would be asking you to call out what you're grateful for, or to raise your hand or whatever. I'll just tell you a couple things that are at the top of my list. The first is that my family and I have weathered this year without getting the virus. I'm very grateful for that. We've had 2 of our sons living with us this entire year since the pandemic began. And even though it hasn't always been the easiest thing for a family to live in such close quarters, I've grown closer, particularly to my oldest son. Sandy and I have managed to get along well. She hasn't thrown me out, as you can see from the beautiful decorations she's created behind me. Business has been pretty good. You know, we have this incense business, and I guess because people have been cooped up in their homes, incense sales have been pretty good. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for other things. I'm grateful for some recent political developments, but I won't go there in case some of you have the opposite view. So by focusing on gratitude, we open the door for more good things to come. Gratitude is a habit that we can cultivate by practice. And what better habit could there be to cultivate coming into the new year than really focusing on all the things that we're grateful for? So that's number one, the number one thing that I would invite all of you to do. And again, to make it a practice. And one of the things you might do is when you wake up in the morning, you might just start your day by speaking aloud a few things that you're grateful for, whatever those may be, that you woke up. That's something I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that I have my health is strong. I'm able to get out of bed and enjoy life, drink tea, be with my wonderful wife and family. So I would have you start your day with that. And if there was any single teaching about a practice, it would be the practice of gratitude that I would encourage you to engage in. So now we also want to talk about love, because they're not separate entirely, because gratitude cultivates the heart. When we're grateful, then it cultivates our capacity to feel love, to feel these higher emotions. And so, if we want to love more, engaging in things that bring us happiness help to cultivate the heart as well. And one of my lessons that I'm trying to learn in this lifetime that I would invite you to join me in embracing, you remember that song, some of you have heard me do the song, To Know I Am the Sea. And one of the verses goes, and if charity begins at home, then love begins there too. And I must learn to love myself before I can love you. So rather than trying to be a loving person and accepting, embracing other people, other things, let's start by learning to love ourselves for all of our imperfections. And if there were time, I would have Sandy list for you just a small number of my imperfections, but there's no time for that. It would take too long. So if we can love each other and accept each other for who we are and not try to superimpose these artificial standards of behaving in some way that none of us can live up to because we're human beings. We're just human beings. And especially those of us who are on a spiritual path. We want to become more loving. We want to become more of a tool for love in the world. We can be the very hardest on ourselves of anybody. And that's a mistake, in my humble opinion. What we need instead, and by the way, that's just that not only limits our capacity to love, but it limits our capacity to be free. You've heard the expression, what we resist persists. So when we don't accept the reality of who we are, then we are not experiencing the freedom to flow with what life brings to us. So whether we're focusing on freedom or love, the beginning of the practice is the same, and that is to love ourselves, to accept ourselves for who we are, for even the blunders, the biggest blunders that we make. And it will be on that basis that we will grow in the capacity to love and embrace others and all of life's challenges. We don't want to create more suffering in life by resisting what is. Now, don't mistake that to mean that we shouldn't work to make things better, whether we're talking about making ourselves a better, more responsible, more dependable, more loving person, or whether we want the world to be a more just place. Most of you know that I've continued my climate activism. I've put in about an average of 10, 12 hours a week for the last 4 months on the election, phone banking. So I'm very much engaged in trying to make the world a better place, but there's a difference between working to make it better and rejecting it and judging it and hating it the way it is, me or the world. Remember that famous bumper sticker I came up with? I guess if you have to remember it, it's not so famous. But it was, everything's perfect and it's getting better. Think about that. Everything's perfect. If we take into account all the forces, all past action, all the levels of consciousness, of the collective consciousness of all the people of the world, the outer world that we see is just a manifestation of that energy. So in that respect, it is perfect. So our job is to pour more positivity and love into the world so that it can become better. So that starts by accepting the world and ourselves. We're just part of the world as we are. Getting angry, what does that serve? Nothing. Nothing. As a matter of fact, my own experience is that when I get angry, maybe in my climate activism, I'm far less effective. I scare away potential allies. I close off people who already are resisting what I have to say. So by coming from a place of equanimity rather than a place of anger and agitation, then our capacity to build a better world, to live a better life, grows exponentially. So how do we do that? Well, one of the things for me anyway, look, my brim keeps popping up. One of the things that we can do is when we find ourselves resisting or agitated, then we can step back from whatever activity we might be engaged in. And by the way, I still have a bit of an addiction to drama, reading the New York Times or the Washington Post or whatever, even NPR, maybe looking for just a little dramatic hit. Now, on the one hand, a little bit of drama is fine. That's why we watch Shakespearean dramas. But when the curtain falls on a Shakespeare drama play, then we get to go out and celebrate with our friends. But the curtain never falls on the New York Times drama. And unless you want to be in a state of perpetual agitation, you must be disciplined. We must be disciplined. I'm preaching to myself here in limiting the amount of time and consciousness, attention that we give to that never-ending drama that is the news. What's the point? For instance, what's the point? From November, let's see, I think the election was on the 3rd, if I recall. I think I maybe looked at the news once every 12 hours to see who won the election, rather than my typical habit of constantly looking, what could I do? I wasn't gonna speed up the outcome of the election by putting all my attention on it and getting all agitated. So, one key to moving beyond, the Serenity Prayer, I'm interrupting myself, I know, but the Serenity Prayer says, Lord, give me, I think, the strength to accept the things I cannot change. Well, we can modify that. Give me the strength to accept the things, even the things I can change, and then I will go from that state of equanimity to engaging in action to try to make the world a better place. So, just keeping an eye on the time here. I think, I've been talking a lot. If we were together, I could ask you questions, but I don't have that luxury here speaking from home. Just let me think for a second if there's anything else I want to say. I think we can just pretty much leave it at that. What we put our attention on grows. The habits we engage in consciously or unconsciously will tend to perpetuate themselves. So part of the key is for us to wake up, become more conscious of who we are and the behaviors that we engage in that cause us misery. Don't worry about other people so much. Like Byron Katie says, worrying about other people just gets us into trouble. If we focus on our own habits, the way we expend our limited energy as human beings, then we can be, through that conscious awareness, we can begin to make choices to cultivate more healthy habits that will not only bring us deeper satisfaction and joy in life, but will serve the world far better as well. So, it's 6:20 already. And I'd like to end with a song, but let's do a quick meditation. Not too quick. So if you will, please just close your eyes. And take a couple deep breaths. And again. And allow your attention to move to the area of your heart. And continue breathing naturally, normally. And with each breath, allow the awareness to settle more deeply into the heart area. And become aware of the constraints that we have accumulated on this precious energy center of the heart. Maybe a loss here, an argument there, a failure here, another disappointment there. All of these that have accumulated. And I invite you to pour your love into each one of those contracted areas of the heart. And you can do this by just imagining love flowing from your heart center out to those contracted areas. You can do it by silently just saying, I love you. I accept you. I love you. I accept you. I love you. And as you engage in this practice of loving those contracted areas of the heart, maybe just a little bit you can feel them begin to relax. Just maybe in this meditation. Just begin to relax and open and vibrate at that higher level of love that is your heart center. And you might find that you can breathe just a little bit easier. That you can relax a little bit more. That you can feel your heart expanding a little bit more. And now I invite you to pour out that beautiful, quiet, golden light of love out to everyone in the Unity CR community, accepting them for who they are and giving them the strength to love themselves. And then to everyone in the whole eastern Iowa area, and then everyone in Iowa, and everyone in this whole United States, the whole world, blessing them with your love your acceptance, your wonderful example of loving and accepting yourself and healing yourself through this act of love. And I'm going to begin a song, and you can remain with your eyes closed, or you can open them when you're ready. I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I love you. Bless you all. Happy, happy, healthy, joyful, love-filled, and freedom-filled New Year for you all. Bye-bye.
And now comes the time in our service where we bless our tithes and offerings. If you enjoyed today's service, please hold that thought in your heart and see that as good that is manifested in your life, and know that the good that you have, you spread out into the world. So please take that pocket of love in your hands, whether it be an electronic button that you push to do Tithely or give online, or that check that you're writing out, or if you give through the monthly auto tithe. No matter how you give, please know that your gifts are blessing our spiritual community. So hold that pocket of love and say with me, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful.
Star of peace, light divine, come into our hearts. Holy babe, so meek and mild, such a tiny child.
Thank you for being here with us today, the last Sunday of 2020. And join with me in saying our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love of God. The power of God protects me. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Blessings.